I can change that.
Let's just go ahead and get it.
Okay, you guys are on YouTube.
Hey, YouTubers, what's shaking, friends? I hope you're getting on here. I hope you're getting some quality content. We're about to go live on the Facebook, but we're talking about new construction.
What construction?
New.
Hot dog.
Brand new construction.
The easiest thing to do.
The topic today.
What is it?
Why builders are choosing not to do new construction deals.
Any deals?
They're trying not to do them. Sometimes they have to.
So they don't even want to build a house?
They don't even want to build it they don't want to do it. They don't want to do what we call a pre-sale, where it's contracted first, and then it's more of a custom build. Now, there's still a custom market out there, but, excuse me, there's more people there's more builders that are trying not to. So,
do you think a pre-sale would cost the
we're going to get it. Hey,
I don't get them good enough.
Are we live on the Facebook?
You're live on the Instagram.
Okay. Instagrammers, what's up? Hey, social media. We got Instagram, we got YouTube, and we're about to light up Facebook.
Light it up, baby.
Hey, we're about to light up. Hey,
we made it 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Oh, Charles Davidson put the post out there, or you did?
I don't know if he knows. Hey, my phone. Ooh, look at that. Wow, I look a little grainy on here.
It's all that weight you lost. All that weight you lost.
You can't see us very
We've
well.
got Nathan Thomas joining in.
Hey, Nate. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
And Alexander. Jackson Jordan.
Dan, I called you. I got to talk to you, friend. I got to talk to you today. We're talking about something you specialize in. So, everybody, it's Wednesday. It's 1 o'clock. That means we do Real Estate 101. No matter where we are, the show has to go on. So, the Weatherman, get us kicked off. Let's talk about our sponsors.
Let's talk about our sponsors. Let's start out with the Trout Magnet, Roy Frazier, with Farm Bureau Insurance. Guys, if you're looking for one of the best in the business, call Roy Frazier. Hey, we're working on getting him a big banner back here in the back. We like him so much. We also want to thank Scott Abernathy with PMI, one of the best property managers in all the surrounding areas. He is the best and probably one of the most smartest.
Most intelligent. Most intelligent.
I like most smartest.
That's fine.
And we also want to give a big shout out to the big kahuna himself with Aloha Heating and Air. Guys, this is the time. It's about 9,000 degrees right now. He come to my house, and it's cool when I sleep. And man, I'm so happy.
What else we got over there?
Hey, we got the saltwater crocodile this week. She'll splash in that water. Wham! She got you. Melinda Aaron with Iberia Mortgage. She continues to go above and beyond and work those hours that nobody works, and there's a reason that she is our preferred lender. And we also want to thank Southern Exteriors for continuing to be a big supporter in the breast awareness and for support Tommy in this thing he's got going on with Dancing with the Stars. And John Jones, we want to appreciate him as always for letting us do this in-house. And my buddy Nate Thompson, the best barber in the barber, for making me look pretty.
I see you on here, man. You're going to add a lot of value, so please comment. Please tell us something. So everybody, this show, the purpose is for me and the Weatherman, my partner, to become solidified as the #1 digital source for real estate content in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I need 131,000 people to know Good Time Tommy and the Weatherman. So here's how you can help us do that.
You need to tell everybody about our special sponsor.
We will. Well, okay, I'm gonna get on to that one.
I'm gonna let you have this.
Thank you but hey, don't interrupt me while I'm in my groove, Weatherman.
He was solidified.
Weatherman. So here's how you can help me and the Weatherman do that. You may not be able to come out and buy a house. Maybe you don't want to stand out on the side and put a sign up that says GTT and the Weatherman.
Sure.
But what you can do is you can share the stream. Hey, Ronnie Martin. Hey, Mary Claire, I know your dad's doing well. I'll send him a text. So when you talk to him, tell him I've been thinking about him. But what you can do to help me and the Weatherman is share this stream. If you know, especially if you know somebody that they're thinking about building a house or they're thinking about moving, they need to know something that I'm about to talk about. Now we're going to break this down, okay? There's some people that want to do a custom build. Now, let's say a custom build would be, let's say Weatherman and Shawan decide, hey, we're going to go and we're going to build our house on this little spot, and we've got a budget of whatever it is. We want what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one builder. The Pat Hatcliffes, Shane McFarland's, some of those other guys that have such a name, where you go to them, and it's completely different than what the majority of our market
But
is.
I was under the impression that those guys, and believe me, they're fantastic builders. A lot of people that use those guys, really budget's not into play as much. Would you think?
You know, I think it's a cost plus scenario where you're like, we're going to spend this and we're going to pay the builder X.
Right.
So it's probably less stressful because we're going to talk about. So here's how new construction really works. Let's just say all the subdivisions that are going along out there, you've got like one builder may control the whole subdivision, like an Old South.
Yep.
They control their subdivisions. Then you've got like Joey Richardson and Tim Dutton. Well, hold on.
Pump the brakes.
Hey, Nick Seabold said you need to give a shout out to your product, Weatherman. What's your product? Your hair product.
Natural fruits and herbs and berries. Crush them up, put them in there.
You got, hey, you know, the Weatherman's like a little porcupine. If he gets close to you one day, he'd cut me. I was bleeding.
128 mile per hour windproof.
Well, I've seen it get throwed up when you was on the slingshot. But so other builders like Joey and Tim and Harvest Woods, they are responsible for half of the subdivision. One has one half, the other has the other. Blair Braswell, thank you for joining one of the funniest realtors you'll ever get to know.
Actually, what day it is?
What day is it?
It's National Hot Dog Day.
Yes,
National
sir.
Hot Dog Day. It was National Hot. So hey, let's keep going here, Weatherman. I know we like to goof off, but so certain subdivisions dictate what builders are going to do. So in a lot of these subdivisions, let's say in one section there's 25 lots, there's 2 or 3 builders in there, and they each have anywhere from 8 to 12 lots. Well, right now they would prefer to go in there and start 3 specs, list the home once there's cabinets in it. What's so funny?
Seabold.
They would rather go ahead and list the home once there's cabinets in there, and then the process is over. We sell the home because the market is so good. That's what they would much rather do. I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why they don't want to do it the other way. The other way is what we're going to refer to as a pre-sale. That's what we say in the business. It's a pre-sale, which means we meet, we discover a plan, then we go to a contract price, and then we start 7 months of hell.
Is that what you probably?
Well, I mean, it's not 7 months of hell, but it can be because there's so many variables that are outside.
And there's 4 parties most time. Actually, there's a builder, a buyer, a buyer's agent, and a selling agent.
Yes.
And so those 4 parties are involved in this relationship for 7 months.
Well, then you've got another year after that with the warranty, so it's almost it's almost 2 years.
Yep.
So there's got to be a lot of things. The chemistry. My buddy Ben Blake told me one time, talking about these bigger deals, bigger houses, there's the chemistry. So much about the chemistry, and I never thought about that. But man, he's right. So hey, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why builders would prefer not to take your pre-sale right now. They're not going to tell you this. So my builder's probably not jumping up and down because we are not pushing business away. But it is a lot easier to put houses out there and then write a contract right in time for them to close as they're finished. So number 1, and I'm giving this from a builder perspective. Okay, what are you laughing at?
Buddy, Seabold.
I want to know. I want to laugh. So, hey, this is going to be, and I want some comments. Everybody that's listening, Eric Hensley, I see you on here. I know you know a whole lot about new construction, Eric. So, this is from a builder's perspective. Number 1. It adds a lot more stress and pressure to the builder and to the other agents.
And so, why do you think the stress level, why is it so high?
because of Hey, I appreciate the likes and the shares. Please give us some love. Give us some love. It's so stressful because of their expectations on the workmanship, the speed, and hitting that closing date. In their mind, when they write that contract, let's say we wrote a contract and we're closing right now on December 14th, we're sitting there freaking out if something's not done because we got to hit that December 14th closing date. So here's what, now this is going to kind of, some of my points are going to be brought up right here, but let's say me and Weatherman are married, okay?
I'm the man.
We're the both the man. So we've got somebody building our house, and we're perfectionists because that's who we are. We're perfectionists. And
You're the greatest.
we go out to this house about every other day, and we're nitpicking this thing. So what we're doing is we're calling the list, or we're calling our agent. Blair Braswell is our agent, and then Blair is calling Brent Long to talk to the builder. So that's what's going on. So what we're doing here is we're creating a lot of stress. There's a lot of work, and unfortunately, buyers don't know this process, but they see something that maybe the builder already knows this will be corrected, but they sit and they freak out.
Yeah.
Eric Hensley, buyers expect the house to be perfect, and new construction is never perfect. That's right, Eric. New construction is built by humans who are flawed, and we're using imperfect materials. So you're exactly right. Weatherman, you've got a lot of new construction stuff going on. Tell me what you think.
Well, you know, I've been in new construction my whole life in real estate. So I started out with a builder. I've been in new construction my whole time, and Eric said it perfectly. Everybody, and actually Tara Hiley Jackson said it one of the best. It's almost like everybody thinks they know what the builder knows, and so the builder he does this every day, and he's used to everything that's already come up. And chances are, unless he's a brand new builder, he's probably seen everything that could go wrong and will go wrong and will continue to go wrong. So not only are we in one of the hottest markets ever, subs are very high in demand. They're very overworked. They're very hard to get out to so every time somebody misses a day to be there, it's an effect that pushes on down the line, and it could cause every pre-sale, I would almost guarantee, about 80% of them don't make their closing day.
Yeah, like Tiffany said, a lot of them are held up by codes and weather and things that
Yes.
are unforeseen. Hey, I forgot to say this. Dadgummit, damn it. Share this stream, and we're going to pick one person.
From where?
They get a gift card from the Alley on Main. That's $25. All you got to do is share this stream, and you may win a $25 gift card. If you don't start sharing, I'll have to start adding in more value.
And ask for the Weatherman Chicken Parmesan.
Ooh, ask for the Weatherman's Chicken Parmesan. All right, number 2. And I was just dealing with this. This situation is a little bit different, but it's just like it only different, as my good buddy Tim Dutton says. They bought the house off the market. We were not listed yet, so it was close to a pre-sale. Now they're wanting to add things in there. Whenever a buyer wants to add something or change something or get the quote on something, they're not very patient. They're not very understanding. So what this does, it puts a lot of stress and pressure on the builder's accuracy to determine. Like today, for example, Weatherman was talking about the big kahuna joint. You're talking about when you add a window.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people think what the window costs is what the window costs.
Yeah.
But what goes into all that, Weatherman?
Well, not only do you got the window, you got the casing, you got the trim, you got the headers. You know, there's possibly you would have had to either take the brick out or put something where the brick was. So that $260 window at a builder's cost is probably close to $1,000 at a builder's cost by the time you pay for the painting, the trim, the window, and not even count if you do blinds.
So what happens to somebody that's a know-it-all? And you know what? I'm not saying that because I would probably be very similar if I was building a house. I would say, well, that window costs $250. I would not understand all the other things that go into it. And whenever I don't understand something, my lack of trust, that all those things from my childhood come up, or I don't trust something. Now I want to know. So whenever you don't trust something, it's like going to Florida on Highway 231 where you got to stop at every red light. You're going through every town instead of just flying there. we got some comments. Daniel Joseph, he suggests using a builder that they have the same track record of subs for 5 to 10 years. You know what? You're exactly right, Daniel. A lot of times people get frustrated, like if a sub can't get out there soon enough. Hey, like me, I get very impatient. But we know that sub. We know his work. We can depend on him.
Right.
So if you just try to bring in somebody else, who knows what you're getting?
Sure.
That could be, you could make a small mistake of waiting turn into a huge mistake of correction. You ought to write that down right there.
Most subs, if they're of quality, like most of the subs are, they're working for multiple people. So
yes,
even though that we've got unless you're an Old South or a Lennar, one of the big builders, they come first and they trump everybody. Most of your custom builders are, a minimum of 5 to 7 to 25 houses a year, and we can't compete with the Old South building 600. So most all those subs are working with the same types of builders, and so even if we are using the same subs, sometimes we still have that wait process.
You know that I should have brought that up with him, man. I let you down.
That's
What a lot of people don't understand, or maybe they do understand this, but let's just take a builder. Okay, he runs a building company, but he's not actually the foreman or the boss over the backhoe guy, over the footer,
Right.
over the framer, the block layers, the electrician. He subs every one of these jobs out. So like Weatherman saying, one electrician, they may have 6 different builders that they're working for. We can't just snap our fingers and say, need you out here.
Come on over.
It doesn't work, especially somebody, maybe it was Daniel that was talking about the subs, or somebody's talking about the subs. It's very frustrating when you're dealing with like excavating, because now you bring in another variable of the weather. So like whenever I'm waiting on somebody to get out there and dig that footer, and I'm sitting there getting very, 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 very impatient, well, I see the dry days and I'm thinking, why ain't they out here? Well, it creates a backlog.
Yeah.
If it's
We've had
wet,
2 months of rain.
we've had so much rain where it's very, very hard to predict that. And the reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is not to defend the builder. I'm trying to help you understand this better. Number 3, another reason why a builder does not. Well, hey, Brittany Renee, thank you for getting on here. Now I can announce it. We're at halftime. Brittany Renee, if you're looking, hey, if you go, I don't know how many women are on here, but if you're looking to consign your clothes, you got to go to my girlfriend, Brittany Renee, the Exchange Boutique. It's on Spring Street. She's on here. We're going to open up, she's going to open up September, I think. She's got a party the 7th and the 9th, but I'm assuming it's going to be sometime around there. So, hey, go like my girl's page, Brittany Renee, the Exchange. Give that plug, Weatherman.
I actually gave away a great outfit the other day, and I thought I was going to win it, but I didn't. But it was definitely a very, very cute outfit. The pineapples.
Hey, this thing's moving fast. Adam Hall, man. Hey, Adam Hall has a ton of knowledge. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, Adam Hall. For y'all don't know Adam Hall, he's been with Old South for a lot of years. He's one of their top agents. He's dealt with a lot of contracts, so he is an Old South guy that's done many pre-sales and done many contracts, and he has a tremendous amount of knowledge about this market and about new construction.
So what he just said is limiting the changes. Okay,
Yep.
So here's what people feel like when the changes. Oh, I can't make that decision. You mean I can't do this? I can't do that?
But I'm paying all this money.
But I'm paying all this money. Well, you know what? It would be a complete disaster if the process was not the way it's set up. So Old South right now, there's so much demand. They're going to do what? Let's just say between 700 or 800 houses this year. And we've got a subdivision where they'll do about 30 homes in this year. And I know this, if one little change is missed, it could just make the whole deal miserable.
Yeah.
So what we do now is we really would prefer to sell the home once it's done. Once the cabinets are in and it's painted, because you can make people so unhappy in this process. Number 3, Weatherman, help me out right here, because you've got a few of these deals going on. Builders do not want to do pre-sales because they're locked into a price, and prices can increase without notice.
Yes.
They can also make a mistake that they can't come back and get that money back from.
Right.
How many of these situations are you dealing with?
We're dealing with a couple, and really everybody that I've talked to that is, and when I say a pre-sale, the builders I don't think like to deal with pre-sales. There's a lot of people in Nashville that do it, and a lot of people that do pre-sales, remember, they build their own plans, and they put their stuff in those plans. They may let you pick out color or something, but they're not really wanting to knock out walls and redesign houses. So what most guys are telling me is every pre-sale they do, they end up losing $10,000 to $20,000.
Of what could be profit.
Could be profit just because of the unknowns and the changes and just example, let's put a garage door, a man door on a garage, and we don't realize that comes with a handrail, that comes with a pad, that comes with the door case, that comes with the door. So that $180 door that everybody thinks $180 is actually about $1,000.
And Adam was kind of talking about this, but see, most builders have in their contracts change order fees.
Yeah.
It's roughly $200, but to slow the system down, do all the paperwork, it does not. They don't make any money off that. They're still losing money because a builder does not want to stop that. Let's just say if you were to stop something and we've got everybody lined up, and you cancel something, it could be 2 to 3 weeks before you get the momentum going back.
And I may step on some toes. I don't mean to do that, but if I was a builder, and I'm not, I'm a builder's agent. I have a builder. If I was a builder, my change order form would probably be $500 to $1,000. Only because, it's like he said, that $250 doesn't outweigh the time you're going to miss to do all the change orders, because a lot of times you have to stop other people that are already lined up to come, and you may miss a week in there.
So this is a scenario I'm going to pose. Hey, we've been going 20. Man, this is going by fast.
Good. Yes,
Okay, so Joey, we had a house in Harvest, and it was $442. Okay, well, we had somebody come in. They really just wrote us a contract and said, we want this house on this lot, $442, and we took it. But since then, we've had to develop. The lot was not ready. Yeah. So during the meantime, we're getting notifications that lumber's going up, sub prices have gone up. So if his margin, builders, honestly, they're trying to normally make about a 10% return. So let's just say best case scenario, we're at 10, like Weatherman's saying, he's going to end up losing money based off what he could make. And what we mean by that is he could have put a spec on this lot.
Yep. Built it, knew the price, and then
the price would have gone up. We're under a contract where that price cannot be adjusted. People are gonna say, well, hey, if I'm somebody, I don't care. You know, I would understand if you're a buyer. So that's what a buyer's thinking. Well, hey, we don't care. Number 4, and this is probably really, in my opinion, the second reason why builders really do not want to do it is because of how time consuming it is.
Yes.
How many hours do you have in McKee?
Oh, a lot. I'm an agent.
How many in Dunaway? Just on these deals where you're going out there to meet the buyers.
Yeah, you're meeting the buyers. You're looking at the property. You're wanting to see when it's going to be done, because hey, as agents, when it's done, I get paid, and so you're constantly going out. You try if you're a builder's agent, your job is to continue selling their product over and over and over. So you have to try to be accommodating, and one thing about a lot of times we don't realize, a seller's agent is actually just a representation of the builder. Now, sometimes we take on more hats and more things than we should, but at the end of the day, our job is to sell a product, go sell another. Most builders don't really want a lot of involvement in with the people. They would rather build the house, deal with the subs. There's a reason they're builders and not real estate people, because most of them are very introverted. Now, some of them aren't, and they're really good at what they do, but for the most part, you don't see a lot of builders on these jobs.
Well, because it makes it so much more challenging.
Because they're easy to say, they're either making mad or they're going to say something they wish they wouldn't say.
Yeah, they need to be more protected by the agent, because if I'm a people pleaser and you come up to me and say, well, hey, can you throw this in because this didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, they're going to say something about me on Google, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Yeah, I'll do this. And I thought it was $800, but then you get the bill and it's $1,700. So it is very time consuming. I mean, if you could take in the man hours of building a spec where you pretty much, it just kind of runs itself. Though if there's a problem, it's resolved without the buyer over the top of you, staring at you. You know, how uncomfortable is that, Kathleen? If you're sitting there typing away and I'm not by you, and then I'm coming, I'm sitting over the top.
It's hawking.
Hey, you misspelled a word. Hey, you used double space. Hey, there should have been a comma right there. Think about how that feels. And that's how it is whenever these people are out on these houses. Hey, covered up. Hey, there should have been a light right here. Hey, something here, there's a scratch in the floor. All this stuff is going to be fixed. But what I'm saying is, it just makes everything a lot harder, more stressful, more, I hate to say it, miserable. Reason number one, in my opinion, and my buddy David Estes said this, so I'm going to give you credit, David. Builders know that they're going to sell a house on such lot regardless. And I do not want that to sound insensitive, but wait a minute, if you were to come to me and say, look, I'm gonna pay you $400,000, I need you to build me a house the way I want it, and I need to meet with you a couple times a week and answer my phone calls, you know, but I'm laid back. But if I see in the store, or we're going to talk about it, or my buddies are going to meet you out there, and you're going to make about the same amount of money, or would you rather do something where you build the home, you make the same amount of money, and you don't have to deal with anybody?
Don't deal with anybody. It probably will make a little bit more.
You probably will, because you can adjust it with price increases.
Yeah. And every house, every new phase, new construction. So let's just say you take this contract 7 months ago when you build it. Chances are in 7 months that house has already went up in our market $10,000. So you automatically lose that $10,000. But if you just built the house, instead of it being $440, it would literally been $450. Then and hey, some pre-sales go wonderful. We've had a couple that have been fantastic. We've got great past clients. Some of them are rocky, but you know, I tell everybody when we do a pre-sale, this is going to be an emotional roller coaster. You're probably not going to be happy all the way through it. The house is going to be dirty. A lot of the time, it's going to look like a tornado hit it, and just kind of prepare them. But it's still hard to prepare somebody because it's their investment. They already see the house finished. They see raising their kids there, and they got this interest in it that it's like it's theirs. And so, anytime that most builders like to have $20,000, $25,000 down, and when you put that kind of money down on a house, you automatically feel possessive. I would.
My house.
My house. I got all this money tied up. My house. You know, and so that tends to add a lot of stress and tension too, because believe me, the builder don't want to give you $25,000 back. They want to build the house, but sometimes it comes to a point. It's like, here you go. We can't meet your expectations. We love trying, but obviously this is not going to be good for the next year. So everybody thinks builders make $100,000 or $80,000 on his houses. So let's just say they make $50,000 on a deal. Well, that doesn't count that next year worth of work. That doesn't count everything that goes into it. And that doesn't count anything that's going to cost you after the fact that you didn't think about. So there's a lot of money that still comes after the deal for builders. And builders see that, but most times buyers don't. Even real estate agents don't a lot of time.
But they don't always make that money.
No,
it's always a gamble. It's always a risk. Sometimes, I mean, we've done some pre-sales in good markets where we broke even.
Yeah, or maybe you lose money sometimes.
I mean, you could have something like the project we're doing out on Central Valley Road, where we think we'll do okay, but by the time what if you hit rock?
Yep.
What if that rock's $4,200? What if now we got to bring in $2,700 worth of more dirt? I mean, so there's so many unforeseen things that can happen. So you're walking into this hoping to make that margin, but very seldom do they do. By the time it's all said and done, and then like you're saying, you don't even know how to put a price on the following year where you're warranting things. So really, it just, if we had to kind of sum this up for builders, it's just a lot more work for less money.
Yeah.
But there is a guarantee that there's a sale. You know, that does make them feel better, but it's very stressful. Because
well, it's not ever guaranteed there's a sale. It's contracted to sell.
That's right.
But you don't have to make somebody buy it. You said something so smart this morning.
You know why? Because I'm smart.
You're smart.
Smart.
So everybody always thinks, well, hey, it's because the market's so good you don't want to do pre-sales. Yeah, that's right. But when the market wasn't bad and we could handle pre-sales, we didn't do as many, so we were subject to more time on each house. So, give an example of average builder builds 15 houses a year now. And in the past, he may only did 6 or 7 in the recession. So, he has half the inventory going up. And so, that's why it wasn't as hard to do a pre-sale back in the recession because he didn't have as many. He couldn't go out and buy 10 lots like they can now. And so, that was, a lot of people don't look at those things when we're talking about them. Still here?
Well, I now want to answer some questions.
Did we miss some?
So Adam Hall said we can target a more accurate closing date if we build specs and control when homes goes on the market. That's right. My buddy Karen Watkins, I'm curious, which do you get more recommendations or referrals after the fact on pre-sold or spec homes? You should, well, you just never know because a lot of times the chemistry does not work, Karen, on a pre-sale not because of the quality of the builder, but he made an agreement, and now what if he starts going above? What if he sees his returns coming down? Right. He's going to get defensive about everything that you want. Usually, that's human nature. Yeah. I'm not saying that's right or they're all going to do that, but it's human nature if we can admit this. Hey, I missed out on this bid. I thought it was going to be X. I was going to make 10%, but now I'm looking at a 7.5% return. Now this person wants me to do this. So I feel like there's not enough transparency. Yeah. People don't want to show their cards, and that's what creates. So it depends. I think if it's a great experience, Karen, I think a pre-sale because you know them better. On a spec home, Karen, a lot of times you wouldn't even know who the builder was. You'd never actually meet him. Yeah. So you could say on a pre-sale, hey, I love this guy. I love Joey Richardson. Or you could say, I hated whoever. Right. Hey, we never hate Joey Richardson. Joey Holt make the most money dealing with the least amount of people. That's right. But the reason why that hurts you is the more people that you work, you impress, and you build advocates, the more people that may start sending you more money. But here's the fact right now is most of the builders out there, they aren't really dependent upon pre-sales because they're going out there, they're buying X amount of lots, and they're gonna sell it regardless. Right. It doesn't matter if it's a pre-sale or not. But it's very important to have a good reputation.
And a lot of things we did touch on, not to go too far, is there's a big difference in buying a house that the builder has built over and over and over because they know the numbers, they know the cost. And then most time these pre-sales now that are causing the most confusion, what we're dealing with is you're building a plan that's never been built. Yep. And you're building something that somebody finds on Pinterest or in some of these magazines, and they say, hey, I want you to build it. But now when the house comes back at $160 a square foot instead of $140, then you have appraisal issues. You have all kind of things that nobody really can, because you don't know what the house costs. And so it's hard to give a number on those. So you almost have to have this clause in there. We'll build it for this, and these are your budgets or your allowances. And chances of you staying in those allowances are very slim.
Got a few, Joe G. Holt, our landscaper, he says it shows consistency in their business and a business that runs smoothly. Karen, her experience was great with the Richardson Group. Hey, a plug for my builder. Joey Holt, I think a builder who has long-term subs and loyalty from their subs should be a factor in choosing a builder. You know what? I think you're right. And I was very early on when I was with Joey, when we first started, I thought I was adding value by saying, hey, we got to go out and get these subs down because that's what the bigger builders were doing. Yeah. They were getting the prices down. We got to get these prices down. Well, Joey was, definitely more mature in his thinking. Yeah, he's like, man, I ain't doing that. Because he believes whenever you do that, if you skimp on the money you're giving them, you're not going to get the same quality. So that's one of the reasons why he's never done that. Do we have any questions?
A lot of it too, though, is that, choosing a builder, sometimes you don't have the liberation to do that.
That's right.
So in Harvest Woods, you have 2. In Creeks Bend, you have 1. Pinnacle Hills, you have 1. So there's certain areas over in Brighton Park, you have 2. So a lot of times you have to choose from what's there, and then you kind of have to take whichever one you want. And sometimes some of them will do it, sometimes they won't. But, you know, a lot of these national builders we have in town now, they're doing a great job, nothing against them. But they have 3 selections. You either get this tile, this tile, this tile. You get this color, this color, this color. You get this floor plan, this floor plan, this floor plan. And it's almost like a spreadsheet. It runs pretty smooth. And you don't get to change walls. It's kind of like we do out there in our neighborhood. You kind of got to go with what's out there.
Where's your fan at, man? It's hot in
Man,
here.
it's warm.
Hey,
Hey, all
man.
these studio
You're
lights.
sweating over there.
Oh, hey,
Your makeup's coming off.
hey, this
Melissa
tough
Gates,
topic.
Joey was fantastic. Another plug for Joey Richardson. Somebody needs to share this on Joey Richardson's page. Do we have anything else? I don't know if my banker's on here, Ronnie Martin. I don't know if you stayed around, but hey, you can't build houses without a good banker. Got to give a plug. My God, the
Todd
best.
Taylor, better deal with local builders. Absolutely, they're going to be here.
I
Whatever else is
believe.
gone.
I believe there's a lot. Hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. There's a lot more value.
Hey,
Don't
tell anybody.
tell them like this. There's a lot more value in the local guys than the bigger guys. The bigger guys, they have figured out a way to suck as much of the margin. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to make as much money. We got Meredith Thomas up here. How you doing, friend? Superstar.
What's up?
The,
Showtime.
the local builders, I can tell a difference between Murfreesboro and Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
In Murfreesboro, there's just a lot more amenities from the local guys because they really care about the product. They want a reputation. You go into like an Andy Holmes house, it's going to look different than if you go into a D.R. Horton or somebody. So the local people, you're going to get a lot more value. And hey, I'm just promoting the local people. The local love, spread the local love. Kathleen, is there anything else I can think of we need to mention? Hey, Mama.
Taylor,
My mama's on here. I love you, Mama.
Money here.
Thank you for sharing. Or she shared something. I don't know if she shared this or not. But hey, I need more shares to help people understand the building process and why builders right now, people think they're arrogant. People think they're greedy. But man, they are so beat up right now that they're just trying to keep up. They're just trying to keep up. Hey, tomorrow night, Thursday night, it's straight from the gut.
My baby.
That's my baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. His
That's
baby.
your baby. Straight from the gut. What I always like to look at me, GTT, today at 44 years old, and what do I wish I would have been telling myself at 30 years old? What are the mistakes? So I'm gonna dig back into a subject that I really like, and it's hitting your potentials versus setting goals.
Yeah.
Because you can set a goal that's below your potential, or you could set a goal that is above your potential. So I'm a big believer today at 44 years old. Ronnie Martin was telling me one time he didn't set goals. Hey, my favorite banker, by the way. He was telling me he didn't set goals. He judges his success on, he just knows where he should be. So what he was trying to tell me is he's measuring himself against his expectations of his potential. So that's all we've got today, Real Estate 101. And remember, please share. Hey, you pointing at me?
I'll buy a shirt.
Oh, get that shirt on with you, man. Hey, we're still selling shirts. I think we've sold about 100 of them. We're going to sell as many of them as we can. So please go to GoodTimeTommy.com. All the money is going to be a donation for Reconstruction for Life. None of the money will stay here. Me and Weatherman are not going to get to go drink on that money. It's all being donated. So I'm going to go dance. I'm going to look stupid. That's the purpose of why we're doing this. So everybody, thank you so much for Real Estate 101. And we're going to go back and we're going to check who's naughty or nice. The people that shared this stream, we're going to start giving you value. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Have you ever thought about going live from the alley on there?
You know, we would,